The fact that you just got done engaging in a conversation where we have a president of the United States who has no idea about the oath that he just took on January 20th tells me everything that I need to know. You know, the thing that actually derived from the oath that he was supposed to take. And he supposedly took an oath, which there's a lot of people that point out that he never put his hand on the Bible. He didn't even have good sense enough in that same interview to say something as simple as, yes, I will follow the Constitution.
In an electrifying moment that sent shockwaves through the political world, Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett took to the House floor, her fiery rhetoric cutting through the air like a blade. The stakes were high as she dropped a bombshell that would leave both Donald Trump and his ally, Karoline Leavitt, reeling. With a keen sense of justice and an unwavering commitment to truth, Crockett unleashed a scathing takedown that had the room stunned into silence. "I've had enough of the lies," Crockett began, her voice steady and filled with conviction. "Donald Trump and his allies, like Karoline Leavitt, have spent years twisting the truth, attacking the very fabric of our democracy, and spreading dangerous misinformation. But today, the truth comes out." The chamber sat at the edge of its seat as she outlined the lies and manipulations that Trump and Leavitt had perpetrated, from misleading claims about the 2020 election to their attempts to downplay the severity of the COVID-19 pandemic. Crockett's words were sharp, and her facts were indisputable. What Trump and Leavitt have done is not just bad politics, it's dangerous. They've undermined our democracy, divided the nation, and put our safety at risk. They've twisted the truth for their own gain, and I'm here to make sure that we all know it. The audience was on fire. Democrats applauded wildly, while Republicans sat stunned, some even exchanging uncomfortable glances. Crockett didn't back down, continuing to dismantle Trump's baseless claims and Leavitt's role in spreading disinformation, calling them out for their political games at the expense of the American people. She dropped truth bomb after truth bomb, not giving an inch as her speech echoed through the halls of Congress. By the end, Trump and Leavitt were left with nothing but a trail of lies exposed to the world. Her fiery speech went viral within minutes, dominating news cycles and social media platforms. The hashtag #CrockettExposes Trump quickly trended, with countless citizens voicing their support for the Congresswoman's courage in calling out the truth. Jasmine Crockett's blistering takedown of Donald Trump and Karoline Leavitt on the House floor marked a turning point in the political discourse of the day. With unshakable confidence, she dismantled the web of lies and misinformation that had been spun by both figures, exposing the lengths they had gone to in order to distort the truth. For years, we've watched as Donald Trump perpetuated falsehoods about the 2020 election, undermining our democracy, dividing the country, and putting every citizen's safety at risk, Crockett declared, her voice resonating with righteous anger. And Karoline Leavitt, his eager accomplice, has done nothing but fan the flames of disinformation, trying to rewrite history for political gain. She recounted how Trump had dismissed the severity of the COVID-19 pandemic, downplayed the science, and sought to exploit national crises for personal gain, all while Leavitt parroted these dangerous narratives with calculated precision. The weight of her words cut through the air, drawing both gasps and applause from the room. As Crockett continued, it became clear that she wasn't just addressing her colleagues in Congress, she was speaking directly to the American people, holding them accountable for enabling such rhetoric. "The truth is undeniable," she asserted, "and I won't sit idly by while they continue to erode the foundations of our nation." By the time she finished, the room was abuzz, with many still processing the blunt force of her speech. Even some Republicans, caught off guard, could not ignore the damning facts laid out before them. In the aftermath,
At losing jobs because they won't have research dollars. The only thing that they are doing is hurting us. It is the reason, if we're going to talk about numbers and mandates, it is the reason that the only person in recent modern times to have the lowest approval ratings at their 100-day mark is the same person the first time they were in and now this time. It is time for us to get serious and talk about what will grow our economy.
Crockett's words went viral across social media, sparking conversations about truth, accountability, and the dangerous power of political manipulation. Her performance was a powerful reminder that in an era defined by misinformation, there are still those who will stand firm in the light of truth, no matter how powerful the opposition. Jasmine Crockett's bold, impassioned takedown of Donald Trump and Karoline Leavitt was nothing short of historic. Standing at the podium in the House of Representatives, Crockett's presence was commanding. She wasn't just speaking to her colleagues in the room, but to the entire nation, holding a mirror to the state of American politics. For far too long, she began, her voice unwavering, we have allowed lies to become accepted as truths, and the most dangerous among them have come from none other than the former president himself. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle in, knowing the room was hanging on her every syllable. Donald Trump, who has done nothing but spread division, perpetuate baseless conspiracy theories, and undermine the very democratic processes that make this country great, cannot continue to control the narrative. And Karoline Leavitt, his ally, has done everything in her power to carry his message forward, a message built on lies and deceit that risks the future of this nation. Her words echoed through the chamber, leaving an undeniable impression. Crockett's meticulous breakdown of Trump's role in the spread of misinformation, particularly surrounding the 2020 election, and his reckless handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, resonated deeply. You can't deny the facts, she continued. Trump actively tried to destabilize our democracy with his baseless claims of election fraud. He fueled a violent insurrection, and he's continued to tear this country apart for nothing more than his own selfish interests. The room fell silent, the gravity of her words hanging in the air. The Republicans in the room exchanged nervous glances, while the Democrats stood firm, nodding in agreement. Crockett, undeterred by the murmurs, pressed on, calling out the complicity of Karoline Leavitt, who had amplified Trump's rhetoric and downplayed the severity of the pandemic for political gain. Leavitt's willingness to parrot these lies and dismiss the truth, especially regarding the virus that claimed so many lives, shows her disregard for the well-being of this nation. She stated, she's as complicit in these dangerous actions as anyone. As Crockett's speech continued, the tension in the room was palpable. Her words weren't just an attack, they were a direct challenge to the very foundation of the political establishment that Trump and his supporters had worked so hard to build. She held nothing back, calling out the hypocrisy, the disinformation campaigns, and the political games that had put so many Americans at risk. We cannot sit quietly while those who would seek to tear us apart continue to manipulate the truth, Crockett declared. I refuse to be a part of that, and I'm here to make in contrast. Trump's response to Crockett was predictable, but ultimately only served to fuel the growing wave of support.
Interesting, because we got all these theories. I don't know why we put up with getting data and facts if we just gonna sit here and talk about how we feel. So, maybe we can inject some facts into these feelings. I'm not really sure. But as somebody who has actually practiced criminal defense, I don't know if there's anybody else in here who has. I can tell you that I have handled thousands of cases, not hundreds of cases, thousands on the state level in Texas, Arkansas, and the federal level. And I can tell you that, if I had to look at the vast majority of the cases that I was representing criminal defendants on, the vast majority of them just didn't happen to be immigrants. These are just the facts of my experience, and maybe the immigrants went to some
support for the Congresswoman. On Truth Social, he labeled her as a radical leftist, attacking her for being a puppet in the hands of the establishment, but his words lacked the usual venomous confidence they once held. For the first time in a long while, the former president seemed to be on the defensive, and his inflammatory attacks fell flat. Trump's loyal base, once a powerful force, began to waver. With each post, he seemed more disconnected from the reality that was unfolding, as more Americans, even those on the conservative side of the aisle, began to recognize the deep fractures his leadership had caused. Despite the growing support and momentum behind her, Crockett remained focused on the bigger picture. This isn't about me, she repeatedly said in interviews. This is about the American people. This is about protecting our democracy and ensuring that truth prevails over lies. Her humility and dedication only added to her growing stature, making it clear that she wasn't interested in personal glory, but in making a real difference. As the months went by, it became apparent that the speech had ignited a new era in American politics, one where truth, integrity, and accountability would be at the forefront. People had seen what was possible when someone stood up to the lies, and they were determined to demand more from their leaders. Crockett had proven that it was possible to challenge the status quo, to speak the truth, even when it was unpopular, and to inspire a movement that transcended political divides. Don't miss out on the latest political updates, and powerful moments like this. Hit that subscribe button now and stay informed as we dive deeper into the stories that are shaping our future.